An American fighter jet was shot down over Iran. 2 crew members ejected into hostile territory. For 48 hours, one of them was alone, injured, on enemy ground. The world waited. Washington said almost nothing. Then, in the dead of night, America moved. U.S. Special Operations entered Iran. They didn't ask permission, they never do, and they brought their man home. Welcome to Sentinel News Daily. Today's story is not speculation. It happened overnight. A U.S. Air Force F-15E Strike Eagle was shot down over Iran. Both crew members ejected. Both are now safe. But how America got them back, that is the real story. Let's get into it. The United States and Iran have not had diplomatic relations since 1979. 47 years of hostility, proxy wars, and near misses. Any U.S. military aircraft in Iranian airspace is a provocation. Any U.S. boots on Iranian soil is an act of war. Washington crossed both lines this weekend. Here is the exact sequence of events. Friday through, a U.S. Air Force F-15E Strike Eagle is shot down over western Iran. 2 crew members eject before the aircraft hits the ground. The first crew member is recovered relatively quickly. The second goes missing. 48 hours pass. The Pentagon stays quiet. The White House says little. Then, overnight, Saturday into Sunday, a covert rescue mission is launched deep inside Iran. This morning, April 5th, President Trump confirmed both airmen are safe. The rescued airman is injured, but stable. Trump said he will be fine. Every U.S. personnel involved in the rescue came home safe. The F-15E Strike Eagle is one of America's most powerful warplanes. It carries 2 crew, a pilot and a weapons systems officer. Both ejected successfully when the aircraft was hit. Getting both of them out required 2 separate operations, one in daylight, one in darkness, both inside a country that considers America its greatest enemy. Let's talk about what actually happened on Friday. The F-15E was operating over western and southern Iran. Iran's air defense systems detected the aircraft. They engaged. They fired. The jet went down. This is not a small event. The last time a U.S. combat aircraft was shot down over Iran, it triggered a full diplomatic crisis. This time, the situation escalated even faster, because 1 crew member was missing on enemy soil. Think about what that means. An American airman, injured, armed, alone, inside Iran. Iranian forces searching. Iranian terrain working against him. Mountains, cold nights, hostile villages. Every hour that passed increased the risk of capture. The U.S. military does not leave people behind. That is not a slogan. That is doctrine. So Special Operations Command began planning immediately. The mission was authorized at the highest level. Assets were repositioned, intel was gathered, and then, on the night of April 4th into April 5th, they went in. We do not yet know the full details of the rescue operation. The Pentagon has not released the method or the assets used. But here's what we do know. U.S. forces entered Iranian territory. They located the missing airman. They extracted him under hostile conditions, and they got out, with their man, without losing a single American life. President Trump confirmed the mission this morning. He called it a success. He said the rescued airman is injured but will fully recover. He said all U.S. personnel involved are safe. That last point matters enormously, because going into Iran is not a simple operation. Iranian air defenses are active. Iranian ground forces are alert. The risk of this mission failing or escalating was enormous. It did not fail. Now let's talk about what this means strategically, because this rescue mission is not just a feel-good story. It is a signal. When the United States sends special operations forces into Iran to retrieve its personnel, without permission, without warning, it is sending a clear message. The message is this: America will act inside your borders if it has to. Consequences be damned. Defense analysts have noted that this type of operation requires extraordinary intelligence. You need to know where the person is. You need to know the patrol patterns of enemy forces. You need insertion and extraction routes that avoid detection. That level of intelligence does not happen by accident. The U.S. had assets, human or electronic, tracking the situation from the moment the jet went down. Historically, the last comparable operation was the 1980 rescue attempt, Operation Eagle Claw. That mission failed catastrophically. 8 American servicemen died. The mission was aborted. It became one of the lowest points in U.S. military history. And it defined American-Iranian relations for a generation. This mission succeeded. That contrast is not small. It shows how dramatically U.S. Special Operations capability has grown in 45 years. But here's the complication. Iran has not yet officially responded. Tehran has not confirmed the incursion. They have not admitted an American rescue operation happened on their soil. That silence is deliberate, because admitting it happened means admitting they couldn't stop it. Here is why this story matters beyond the rescue itself. First, the shootdown. An Iranian air defense system engaged and destroyed a U.S. Air Force aircraft. That is an act of war by most definitions. Washington has not yet declared it as such, but that question is not going away. How the U.S. responds, diplomatically, militarily, economically, will define the next phase of this confrontation. Second, the rescue operation inside Iran. The U.S. just demonstrated it can operate inside Iranian territory. Iran knows this now. The region knows this now. Every adversary watching just recalibrated their assumptions. Third, the broader regional context. This incident did not happen in a vacuum. U.S.-Iran tensions have been escalating for months. The Gulf region is already on edge. Oil markets are watching, allies are watching, China is watching. One miscalculation, one Iranian retaliation, and this story becomes something far larger. The window for de-escalation is narrow. Both sides have now taken significant actions on each other's soil. The next 72 hours will determine. So where does this leave us? Both American airmen are home. That is a victory. The rescue mission succeeded. That is remarkable. But the shootdown still happened. That demands an answer. The real question is not whether America can rescue its people from Iran. Today proved it can. The real question is, what happens next? Does Washington respond to the shootdown? Does Tehran retaliate for the rescue? Or do both sides quietly step back from the edge? History says stepping back is harder than it looks. Watch this space closely. Whether this stays contained or explodes. And that is a humiliation Iran cannot afford publicly, informed. And before you go, think about this. 2 men fell from the sky over one of the most dangerous countries on earth. They survived, they were found, they were brought home. That does not happen by luck. It happens because somewhere, in a classified room, on a dark airfield, inside enemy territory, men and women made a decision to go in. No headlines, no cameras, no guarantees, just mission, just duty, just the commitment that no American gets left behind. That is the story beneath the story. The geopolitics will continue. The tensions will escalate. The diplomats will argue. But tonight, 2 families got a phone call they were praying for, and that, above everything else, is what matters. Stay with Sentinel News Daily. We will keep tracking this story as it develops, because this is not over.